included among the writings considered in the canon of Jewish scripture. He said, although it had been written or come down through the years in the Greek translation, it still had words that we could learn from. And so, Tobit it's a collection. It's a collection of prayers and stories. A way to understand that God is present, even in those times in our life when God seems most distant. Now, in many cultures around the world, there's a story that is sometimes called the story of the Grateful Dead. You know it. There was a man named Jerry Garcia. No. These stories of the Grateful Dead go like this. There are people, as all of us here, who will one day die. It is the way of the world. In every culture around the world, there are ways of showing respect, of honoring the memory, of sharing as a community the grief that comes with loss. And sometimes, though, people are not shown any compassion when they die. And so, to those people who are tossed out with the trash, left on the roadside or in the alleys, those who die in an anonymous way and no one is there to mourn, Tobit found one such person. And being a man of faith who honored the God of his ancestors, had compassion on this unknown and unnamed, unmourned stranger. And because of that act of compassion, of love, Tobit was visited by one of the Grateful Dead. Why, that sounds so, well, I'm not quite sure, so amazing, so, not Stephen King, but not Claudia Mills either. Somewhere in between. The story of Tobit in this book, 14 chapters, is a story of caring, of compassion, a story of reaching people, taking them where they are, and seeing them as God sees them. It's a story of relationships. There are 3 couples named in this story, and each one tells us something about how we are to relate to the ones we love, how we are to engage in their life and to show them by our words, our acts, our thoughts, our very breath. And we hold them with the same loving embrace that their Creator does. Tobit shows us that if we cannot show the one that we have committed our life to we cannot show them our love, then we will not show the one who created us the love that is due to God. Tobit shows us that the relationship we have with our children is a reminder that every one of us, from the worst sinner, the worst mass murderer, to the highest saint, is still a child of God. It may not be easy, but if we cannot forgive those who sin against us, then we will deny them the same forgiveness by which we are forgiven by God. And then there's the relationship between a community and their God. That's why we come together week after week to worship God. Yes, we enjoy seeing each other most of the time. Yes, we enjoy hearing beautiful music. Yes, you like to talk to Belinda. It's easy to like people we like. It's harder to show compassion to those who speak differently than we do, those who vote differently than we do, those who worship differently than we do. But if Tobit teaches us anything, it is that all things, from the very atoms which make up our being, to the very stars, to the farthest reaches of the heavens, everything was created by God. And because of that, we owe it to creation to care for it, to recycle, to reuse, to reduce, by living simply, so others might simply live. We do this. It's good business, it's good politics, it's good for us. It's a way of showing that we see around us evidence of the one God. The God who loves and sustains and reaches those who have been scattered. Tobit talks to us about grace, about hope. He sends his son, Tobias, to a far-off land where, for some reason, the text doesn't say, that Tobit had left a amount of money, and he sent his son to get it. While there, he encounters a woman who had 7 husbands. Each one died on their wedding night. Tobit doesn't say why. No judgments. But Tobias falls in love. And through compassion and mercy and reaching out, lives through the night. Only at that time does the Grateful Dead reveal himself as the angel Raphael, sent by God to say to Tobias, your God has heard your prayers in that far-off land of Nineveh. God has heard your prayers and seen your faithfulness. Even though you are not in the holy city,